Well, welcome everyone tuned in live on our Instagram account, soon to tune in live on our YouTube account. This is the Art Network Podcast, episode 5 in English. Make sure to subscribe to our account, also to like or dislike the podcast. We want all the feedback we can get. Today we're here with Carlos Cabarcas. How you doing, Carlos?
Hey, what's up, everyone?
Chilling, having a good day?
Having a wonderful day.
Nice. We got Robaina on set today.
Amazing.
Yeah, and we wanted to bring Carlos on the podcast to basically talk a little bit about self-development, building assets, being an entrepreneur. You brought some good books, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a reader, love to read. And, when I was younger, just to give you a little bit more information about, how I grew up, man. I grew up in, the East Coast, New Jersey. Reading wasn't that popular,
It was the streets.
Yeah, it was more like basketball and, and the latest Jordans and, who had the flyest gear. But yeah, I mean, throughout the years as I grew up and then I just, picked up reading and it's very valuable. I mean,
Let's give everyone a little like background knowledge on how we know each other and stuff.
oh yeah, I mean, J.O. actually, I was, when I was younger, several years ago, I was looking for a job. I was a little lost, I was young, I was working in a restaurant. I hated life, I had to, clean tables, do stuff that I really didn't want to do. So I was fortunate to meet Jonathan, and he gave me a job, at LA Fitness at the moment. And well, I didn't know anything about about reading or personal development or sales or anything like that. I was just like a lost soul, and that's how we got to know each other.
Yeah, long story short, I hired a buddy of yours, Oscar.
Yeah.
And then I asked Oscar, hey, do you know anyone wants to come work here at the pre-sale office at LA Fitness? He mentioned you came in, interviewed. This was like pushing 4 years ago probably. And I mean, I've seen a huge change in just the way you look at life, the way you speak, your confidence, and you can attribute most of that to what, audio tapes and books and reading?
Well, yeah, I mean, like yourself, which you were the one who introduced me to. I remember the first time you introduced me to a Brian Tracy
audio.
Audio.
I think I remember that audio.
And it was about the sales techniques, about 21 sales techniques.
Classic.
Yeah.
If anyone sells anything, make sure to listen to 21 Sales Techniques by Brian Tracy.
So that was the start off. We started with that, and I think sales techniques is the most important thing in life, man. Everything in life is a sale.
That's true.
And our ability to not only sell our families, our loved ones, but also sell ourselves, our dreams and things that we want to do and growth. Everything's a sale, man. So if we can polish our sales techniques a little bit, it's always a plus.
Yeah, and for the podcast where we have so many listeners who are either artists themselves or they appreciate art, we wanted to kind of talk to you guys about how you can use books, use audio tapes to kind of develop your whole art game, from selling your artwork, presenting your artwork, networking, using these tools, because I feel like a lot of artists and creative people, they aren't really in touch with that business side of it in terms of the networking and sales and
yes, of course, and like I said, it's very important. You can have the best talent in the world, but if you don't know how to market your talent, it's not going to go anywhere. So, like I said, those small techniques on how to have people skills, how to get along with people, networking. That's very important, especially if you want to commercialize your art. You want to get it out there. You want people to get to know you. You got to sell a lot of people into believing in you. So, like I said, that's just the basics. Then we could get into also our mind. I'm a student of the mind. Blows my mind. All the talent that us as individuals we have, and I think that the key to unlocking all of that is it's development, books, audio tapes, attacking the senses.
You mentioned something before. I beat you in horse outside. we played a game of horse at the basketball court. Just get the blood flowing. You mentioned habit stacking.
Yes.
Stacking, which sounds pretty cool. It sounds like stacking money or something. Habit stacking. So, what can you elaborate a little bit more on what you meant by habit stacking?
Well, what I mean is, to create a new habit is hard. Well, we either have good habits or bad habits. You can never get rid of a habit. You can only replace it with a new one. So, for example, if you got a habit of drinking a lot of soda, you can replace it with, I don't know, with G2, Gatorade.
I'll drink a lot of water.
Yeah, I'll drink a lot of water. And habit stacking, it pertains.
Where'd you get the phrase habit stacking? Did you invent that?
No, it's from a book. It's called habit stacking. Yeah.
The book's called habit
It's
stacking?
called habit stacking. Well, basically, to expand on that idea, it's all about creating a core habit. So you got a few core habits. For example, reading a book an hour a day could be one. As soon as you wake up, first hour of the day, micromanage, get your reading done. After you're done, you can go have a workout in the morning. Get the blood flowing, because I'm a believer that the mind and the body are connected, and if either one of them is not working properly, your creative abilities are never going to flow out. So, like I said, creating a core habits, few of them, working out, reading books, audio tapes, and building up.
So those are like the pillars. Those are like the solid, strong habits that are going to lead to other good habits.
Exactly. And the more you advance and progress on habit stacking, the harder it gets, man. Because you got to juggle. You got. I don't like to manage time. I think time is unmanageable. But you can set priorities, man. And like if you like, to paint, set aside some time during the day to get that done. And try to get rid of all the negative stuff, basically.
So what you're saying, it's important to break down your bad habits, in a sense, like be aware of them, because I feel like a lot of people aren't aware of their bad habits either.
Or they're aware, they just don't want to change them. That's one. So yeah, the first step is actually admitting that it's a bad habit and you have to change it. But like you said, you can't just get rid of it. You got to replace it. You got to kind of trick your mind. So yeah, the mind is like a supercomputer.
Are there any techniques in like doing so? Say you have a very bad habit, for example, smoking like cigarettes or drinking a lot of coffee. Are there any techniques you learned from that book that help in breaking habits?
I think that it's all about taking immediate action. So let's say if your habit is to smoke cigarettes, right where you stand, the next day go for a run. Take it from there. You notice that it takes 21 days to create a new habit. So once you hit the 21st day, it's pretty much automatic.
And have you experienced this yourself, where you form these habits?
Yeah, of course. Like I said, I had a very disorganized life. Didn't really slept in. Didn't read at all. I love reading, but never took the time to actually open a book and actually do it daily. I think it's just putting a little grain of sand every day.
Yeah, and then it accumulates.
Exactly. I call it a compound effect.
The compound effect, which is beautiful.
Exactly. It's like if you accumulate compound interest, maybe a year or 2, 5 years later, you have a load of money. Same thing. If you do, little positive habits through a large period of time or a long period of time, it will amount to big success.
Yeah.
So, that's something I really like to get into and study. Like I'm a student, and I don't want to say I'm a teacher. I like to teach, but I'm mostly a committed student.
Yeah. And I'd love to eventually get you set up on your own podcast. That'd be pretty cool, just to have you talking about the different books you're reading or the experiences in your life.
Yeah, of course. And for me, it's just a huge impact in my life. And it could be for anyone. All you have to do is, I consider the mind to be a supercomputer, and the programs that we run, it's our self-talk. And sometimes, we don't have any control over our self-talk. It's always negative. It's just in our genes. So the way to combat that is through attacking our senses. Big. The audio tapes are big. If you go on YouTube, they're free. from Les Brown to Jim Rome to Tony Robbins.
To Napoleon Hill. Shout
Napoleon
out
Hill.
Napoleon Hill, the godfather of positivity and...
Yeah, Think and Grow Rich, big book. I mean, I read it a while ago. And, man, you can choose to believe in it or not. I mean, it's a choice, but the proof is in the pudding. If you think positive and you take small little actions, you can do whatever you want. Whatever you want.
Nice. And so there's two things I kind of want to talk about too. Robaina, you gonna say anything, dude? You gonna talk?
I'm just making sure that the audio is good right now. I don't got nothing to say. I don't got nothing to say. I wanted to ask a question, but I forgot about it because he was talking too much.
You forgot it?
I forgot about it.
Well,
no, it's cool.
Talk to me about...
I mean, something that I wanted to ask is like how like these habits can help this, the artists with their, with getting more like...
Okay, so say I'm an artist, right?
Mm-hmm.
And say I have a really, really bad habit of like not finishing certain pieces of work and I just keep buying more material. How can an artist kind of prioritize their frogs? And we'll talk more about what a frog is, but basically just like tasks and daily things you want to do. How can someone break down their day so that they are as efficient as possible?
Well, one thing that you could do is, like I said, is always taking action at the moment that you get the idea. Like, never postpone things. Because whenever you say, like, for example, there's a lot of people want to get in shape, for example. And they're like, yeah, I want to lose, 15 pounds. But I start on Monday. Monday comes around, they never get it done. So they say, oh, I'll start, next Monday. Next Monday turns into a month, 6 months, a year, and you never act on it. So let's say if you're an artist, like for example, you want to get into the habit of finishing your work. Whenever you're about to finish, just like, build some strength and just get it done right there and there. And you're going to notice that that's going to turn into a habit and you're going to find yourself finishing all your work on time. So
now, that may be because, people are lazy. So is there any way that you can overcome laziness? What would you recommend?
Well, laziness it's like I said, it could become permanent. I mean, and it's like...
So laziness can become a habit.
Of course. Like, we could build positive habits, we could build negative habits. You can have the habit of procrastinating, not getting anything done. And, sadly, a lot of the population is in that boat right now.
Yeah.
I was one of them. I'm guilty as charged as well. But, hey, I found a way. I found that, you start little by little. Start doing a little bit the first day. Then, it's like a snowball effect,
Yeah, with the compound.
Yeah,
with the compound.
It's all about the compound. So, like I said, reading could also unlock your creativity. So,
you brought a few books that you wanted to recommend.
I actually do read several books. There's so many options nowadays. You got your ebooks, you got your paperback.
Do you prefer reading electronically or paperback?
Well, I used to think, like everybody else, we just like paperbacks. But
well, no, didn't you originally start reading Think and Grow Rich on your iPhone?
I actually
and
did.
then I came and I was like, here's the fucking book, bro.
I actually did, but I mean, I came to a point in my life where I was analyzing myself, like reflecting, and I was like, I need to question like my core values and beliefs, everything that people say. I think that...
So you had a moment where you like self-analyze that?
Well, I think I'd have listened to so many, because like in my line of work, I'm sitting down for long periods of time, and I think that the car is like a college on wheels. You can actually
Brian Tracy quote.
Yeah, like you can actually get a master's, a doctorate in a manageable time frame from just audio tapes. And like I said, I will listen to tons of audio tapes and ideas will spark up. So an idea sparked up and I started reflecting. I'm like, okay, I need to start questioning everything that everybody says. So whenever they told me that paperback was the way to go, I'm like, I'll start questioning it. So I'm like, okay,
why?
What are the benefits of ebooks? Ebooks, I think, from my opinion, is better because...
What platform do you read your ebooks on?
Kindle.
So you actually bought the Kindle from Amazon?
I got the Kindle app. Best investment I ever made.
Oh, it's just an app?
It's just an app, and you, like, let's say it cost me $9 a month, but for me, it's the best $9 I spend every month. Why?
So you read it on your iPhone with the Kindle app?
Exactly. You get a large variety of books that you can pick I think it's something crazy, like 100,000 different titles. I mean, it's crazy. But also, if you purchase a book on Kindle, you get to read it right there and there. So I'm constantly, like I said, I'm a constant student. I try to get at least an hour or two a day of reading before my day starts.
Wow, you read that much every day?
I actually do.
Wow.
How many books have you read so far?
That's a good question.
He likes that question.
I mean, I don't like to give that out, but I mean, something like 60, 70 books.
So
Yeah.
by the year so far, so it's been 4 months, you already read 60 books?
Exactly.
That's
How many
impressive.
books you read?
Like one?
One? Which book?
I don't remember.
Yeah, you do, dog.
No,
What book is
I was reading the Millionaire Habits, but like
The what?
the Millionaire's
it?
Habits.
Millionaire's Habits?
Yeah, but then I didn't finish that one. It wasn't that interested.
Hey, it's the
to be honest.
habit. You got the habit of not.
Yeah.
You didn't
Not
start
following
reading
through.
Think and Grow Rich?
Yeah, but this was a long time ago. I
Oh, you
finished
read it?
that one. Yeah, I read that one. I read like the how to influence people, make friends.
How to make friends and influence people?
Yeah, I read that one. I
Yeah,
read,
I
I mean, by my
that was
age,
good.
there
That
is
was
a lot of
good
people
book.
that by my age, I'm 21, that haven't
Yeah.
read like a book. I already read like on my probably like 7,
No,
6
yeah,
books.
you're going down the right
I'm
path.
going down the right way. I gotta add more books to the list, but I'm working on it.
Hey, but let's get back to like the subject. The subject I mean, one gold nugget that I could throw out there also is knowing your why. You got to know your why. I mean, I think
Like your X
So like,
Factor?
why you doing?
no, not your
why you
X
doing
factor.
your art?
I think that the most important question to humanity is why.
Okay.
In any area of life. So if you can uncover your why, that's where all the greatness starts. Like, from your Steve Jobs, for example.
Mm-hmm.
Back in the days, IBM used to run shit. They used to, computers were run by them. And, Macintosh was like, hey, look, they challenged the status quo. They were like, hey, we can do it better. And because they had a clear why. They wanted to challenge, like I said, you challenge the beliefs that it's going around
The
in
norm.
the world. Yeah, the norm, just challenge it. Just
Like
say,
Elon Musk, just fucking up all norms.
exactly. So that's the key to life, I think. Just challenge all norms. And like I said, and the key is to find out your why. If you can answer and articulate your why in life, if you're an artist, you're gonna be drawing the next Picasso artwork. If you get that why clear, that's the key. Which is it's really hard because the way our brains are wired, we're not really built to articulate our why. It's two different areas of the brain. First of all, I like to read certain books on neuroscience as well, which is.
Are you familiar with Sam Harris? You know who Sam Harris is?
I'm actually not familiar with Sam.
So, sorry to interrupt, but Sam Harris is a neuroscientist.
Okay.
He's kind of one of the like forefront runners of the Bright movement, which is basically just like atheism, like questioning everything, science. He's a neuroscientist, and he has a podcast also, and he has a lot of really good debates. He's been on with Richard Dawkins, Lawrence Krauss, who are both also scientists and atheists. And yeah, long story short, he's a neuroscientist. You probably would love his podcast. He likes to have very controversial discussions about topics that people get very defensive about.
Of course.
So
Hey, like I said,
yeah, you should check it out.
We live in a country where we're not supposed to talk about certain things, and like I said, I like to challenge all that stuff. I like to be free and talk about anything, So,
But what do you mean? Aren't we in the land of the free?
well, I mean, yeah, but not really.
Okay.
Not really. Like like if you go out to
there's a status quo and
like for example, you're not supposed to talk about religion. You talk about religion, everybody gets defensive.
defensive. Yeah.
You talk about money, everybody gets defensive.
If you criticize Muslim beliefs, you're a bigot.
Yeah, so like I said, I like to have that freedom to put it out there. I'm like, hey, look, this is what's going on. Question it, challenge it, and if you got a better way, just keep an open mind. But like I said, it all comes from my why. I was lucky enough to, before I knew my why, I was kind of lost. I didn't have any strength or any any belief. I think the key to anything in life is belief. Start believing in yourself. Your ability to draw, your ability to play basketball, your ability to do anything, make music.
Believe in your endeavor, in your hustle, and what you're doing.
Well,
Believe in
yeah,
yourself.
but I mean more in the way like believe in your ability, like have that confidence, that kind of like that Michael Jordan confidence, like what that kind of like set him apart from everybody. he believed that he was the best. He believed that he could dunk over anybody. You think if he wouldn't believe, he would be able to do that?
He wasn't necessarily like
The biggest.
the biggest, the strongest, the fastest, but
So-
he had it all.
Yeah, it's for example, if we look at the animal kingdom, the lion is not the biggest animal in the jungle. You know, you got other animals that are 4 times bigger that could kill the lion. But what makes the lion the king? His belief in himself that he's the king. And believe me, the attitude is everything. Attitude, it will determine your altitude. So, I mean, I get all of this from all the variety books I read, the audio tapes. But hey, the key is rewiring your mind every day. It's a habit.
And a great way to rewire your mind daily and do it habitually is by writing your goals, right?
Of course, I think goals just bring clarity.
Yeah.
They bring clarity.
And it's like a peaceful moment. It's like when you're with yourself, in your own mind, and you're just kind of writing your goals.
Yeah, well, like when we started back in LA Fitness, you kind of showed me how to do that. But like I said, I've been evolving through time, and I noticed that there's 2 different parts of goals. You got your goals, like your objectives of 6 months, a year, etc. But it's also your purpose. You have to, like, let's say Napoleon Hill, definition of purpose. You don't have a definition of purpose.
That's the first law of success, right?
It is. And the last law says it's cosmic habit force.
Yeah.
So if you stack,
you stack up the cosmic habit force, right?
yeah, it's like the energies of the universe just they bend to your will whenever you create the right habits.
And keep in mind, Napoleon Hill wrote this stuff probably, I'd say, like 80 years ago. So before a bunch of advances.
The best information ever written is ancient. It's been written thousands of years ago. But it's still, still applicable nowadays,
Let's go through some of these books here. You want to hold it up for that camera there?
Well, I got the Power of Positive Thinking, Norman Vincent Peale. He's actually one of Les Brown's mentors.
Did he actually know him?
He did. I listened to a lot of his audio tapes. He grew up in an abandoned building in Liberty City, and
Who? Les Brown?
Les Brown.
He's from Liberty City, Miami.
He's from Miami.
Damn.
So he's kind of like the person who sparked me into believing. Not too long ago, I'll start listening to him, and he has a special gift. So he kind of like got me a little amped up about my goals and my purpose. And man, I pick up reading. Man, it's just I picked up in a big way. So Norman Vincent Peale, one of his mentors. We all need mentors. If you listen to Grant Cardone, Ty Lopez, all these guys online, who I tip my hat to because they're really helping the world and
and they're getting rich doing it.
Yeah, but I think that's an effect. Money's a result of all the hard work.
They're giving value to people, so
Yeah.
they're gonna receive something back.
Yeah, it's actually a law of the universe. It's called the law of receiving. Everybody thinks, whenever you give, you're supposed to give money. But it's not. That's
Yeah,
not
but
it.
Grant Cardone's kind of whack in my opinion. He just says the same shit everyone else says, and
Well, I mean, you could get that perception from him, but I don't. I think that he's a very smart individual.
he's also
It's a little
in
bit old
Miami.
school for me.
They
Yeah,
have their
Aventura.
offices
Aventura.
in Aventura.
Yes,
Dope.
and I've been listening to his. What I like about Grant Cardone is that his financial game is on point.
Okay.
Like maybe his other areas, nobody's perfect, so he's got to have areas where he's not that good. But when it comes to finances,
He's killing the game.
Yeah, it's like, for example, the rules. Let's go over some of the things he talks about. He talks about the middle class. It's a myth. There's no middle class in the United States. It's either you're rich or you're poor.
Yeah.
So people who are making $250,000 who think they're banking, you're really poor.
Well, depending on your assets.
Of course,
If
but
you have high debt,
yeah, but what he's saying is, most people they think of the old rules of the game, like get a good job, invest for the long term, stack up your money, stack. Cause when you really think about it, all these songs, what do you talk about? Stacking, stack paper, and it's really dumb. I mean, I noticed. I mean, I thought it was smart, but then I noticed, man, how dumb is that? So what Mr. Cardone is saying is that income is king. So if you can read books like these and gain value, and you can bring it to the marketplace, your income's going to go up. So once your income is increasing, everything just then you'll be able to buy those assets. But if you're making $30,000 to $50,000 of a year, for example,
consuming all your time
after taxes, let's say you're paying 30% in taxes, like a normal person. Well, what are you left with if you don't got good habits? You're nearly left broke, sadly. But yeah, so I think the key, what Grant was saying was increase your income, and then you create new sources so you can just make more income. Then you save money so you can get more income. It's all about income. And the last step, what he was saying was to get rid of your debt once you're done, or even better, loan money. But hey, like everything in life, there's levels to this shit, man, and you got to go through the ranks. You can't start at heavyweight. You got to go like everybody starts at the bottom, and
that can that also can it be adapted to like artists, people who like start
like
painting and just
art,
trying.
Art, people are passionate about art, man. Art it's one of the biggest assets in humanity is art, man. If you go to the Vatican,
any culture.
Yeah, I mean, but at the end of the day, art is a product. It's a product, so it could literally be converted into income. And if you're fortunate enough to be talented at drawing, by all means, man, by all means.
Yeah, and what you were saying is like with that income, then you can create other sources of income, not just stay with the arts. You gotta like
exactly
step it up, invest your money, because you never know.
Exactly. What you gotta ask, like I said, going back to Mr. Cardone, he has the millionaire booklet. It's just pretty much tips he gives you on how to go about it in the new economy. And
when you say new economy, what do you mean? The e-commerce world?
No, the new economy, new rules of the game where income is key. Just to give you a little history, Ronald Reagan, when he took us off the gold standard. So right there, the dollar just became a currency. So they started printing tons of dollars a day, which right now in the last 5 years or 6 years, I think they printed like something crazy, like 10 trillion. So they got $10 trillion going around. So income is key. You can no longer stack up money. You got to create income. The more income you have, the bigger your reach. Let's say I was making 50,000, and I read all these books, and I became so valuable. Crazy salesperson. Got a sales job now. I'm making $3 million. My income just skyrocketed, 1,000% or more. Now I'm able to get into the game to buy real estate. For example, the second book I'm there. It's about buying gold. I'm not really too much of a fan of buying gold, really. Even though I want the bling bling, but
That's from the hood.
You don't want to get bricks of gold at the house?
I think you should have a small percentage of golds, in the bank, of course. Don't be crazy having that in your house. They'll run up in your house.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, man. But yeah, in the bank, saving up some gold and if anything crazy happens, you can always have some security there. But
the security, yeah. So what type of security are you talking about if anything happened? Like what?
I'm saying, like, let's say like something crazy happened in the world. We got all these wars right now, and you got North Korea. I don't even want to get into controversial.
That's getting a little bit more
controversial.
No, it's getting like it's not like us before. Like they like tagging now. They want to talk. So it's not getting like personal.
I think it's like Drake, man. It's all fake love. I think it's all fake love.
It's just fake news, man.
So what I'm saying is, it's always good to have gold, like a little percentage. So if anything crazy happens in the world, a lot of people like to have things in the bank, and that's not the way to go, man. The best way to go is a Brinks truck. You get a Brinks company. Anything happens in the world, you got them on call 24 hours. Bring me my gold.
The thing with having money in your bank is that they ain't giving no interest. So they making money out of your money and they ain't giving you shit.
Well, I mean, I love money, man. I mean, I love the things I could do with money, but money's an idea. It's like, for example, I'll show you this book. I read this book. It's money. Yeah,
we're also gonna put all the books, Amazon links in the description. So if you guys see a book you like and you want to buy it, you can do that.
Yeah, so it's money is just an idea, man. It's the values. It has this eccentric value, and it's just
eccentric value to money.
Yeah,
what do you
eccentric.
mean by that?
Like, so some people view money as another controversial subject. They view it as everything. Some people, if you're religious or not, they view money as their god eventually. Right? Their god is money. They work 24 hours. They neglect their health. They it's all about the grind, and you could get faked out, man. Like Jim Rome said, man, you can get faked out.
How does he say it though?
He said that. He just pretty much said that you
get faked out.
Yeah, it said that you can feel like you're successful, but you're one heart attack away from losing everything. So, yeah, man, money's an idea. It has a central
Plus, nobody wants to get rich and die.
Exactly. Health is wealth. You know, health is wealth, and I like to follow the greats, and I'm a student of the greats, man, and I think the key in life, man, I'll say it boldly, fuck education, fuck college. It's controversial.
Self-education.
Personal development is the key. But you know what's the thing about personal development? It's personal. You have to teach yourself. Yeah. So
it's a journey also.
It is, but it's also, creating the grit, the habits. It's not easy, and you gotta fail your way to success. We're gonna fail every day. I fail every day. There's certain times that I have to read that I fail and I don't read, but guess what? I go right back to it.
Yeah, failure is important in success, definitely.
Yeah, you can not let like one failure like hold you back. You just gotta put it away and then keep going.
Yeah, you can't dwell on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we make mistakes every day, so it's we're not exempt from that. So, I think it's just focus, man. Like I think there was this reporter, they were interviewing the richest people on the world, and there was a table with Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, the richest people in the world, and they were like, if you could sum up in one word your success, what would it be? And they all said it at the same time without even blinking. Focus.
They all said focus?
Focus. Your ability to focus and to get shit done, pretty much. It's the...
How old were you when you moved here from New Jersey?
Oh, man. Like 17, 18 years old.
Long.
And did you feel like leaving New Jersey and like coming here, like it was just kind of not necessarily safer, but just like better influence? Because I mean, in Miami, you can still join the wrong crowd, but did you feel...
Miami has some rough areas, but I mean, in New Jersey, I mean, at that moment, I was, like I said, I was a little lost. I got into alcohol. I used to drink a lot. I used to smoke a lot. I used to, you name it, I was just out there. As a kid, and a lot of people don't know what their kids are doing, man.
That's true.
A lot of parents, you got your kids, they're 13, 14. Kids are getting into crazy stuff at that age nowadays. You just don't know.
Yeah.
And I was one of those kids, so... Yeah, I just started smoking cigarettes.
Yeah, you were doing some crazy ass shit.
Yeah. But hey, guess what?
Stuff.
Thanks to life, the higher power, whatever you want to call it, I found personal development, man, and I'm not where I want to be yet, but I know I'm on the way. So
cool. Yeah, it's the journey, man. It's the journey.
Yeah, and it's all about faith and belief. It's just about the belief.
Yeah, and so I guess too, like that personal reflection and that development is so important because you meet people who have all the charisma in the world. I just what comes to my mind now is your buddy, what's his name, Cisco? No.
Oh yeah.
This guy's super charismatic, super outgoing. People love him when they talk to him, but he just battles his own demons, and that shit holds him back. I mean, that motherfucker could be balling and have his businesses.
But he didn't have patience. He didn't have patience.
Well, I mean, he has a bunch of demons.
Well, but the thing, like I said, we go back to accepting what people tell you from a small age. Everything that people learn, you get it from age from 1 to 5. So all the shit that you think is a reality, you gotta challenge it. They used to tell him, my good friend, they used to tell him that he was a little crazy. His mom would even tell him, hey, you need medication. And to this day, he believes. So you can have all the talent, you can have all the charisma. If you believe that.
Yeah, but at that same point, there's a bunch of people who face those same challenges who do great.
Yeah, of course, but they had to overcome them.
So there's a point where you overcome that.
Of course, and you question it. The first step is question it. Let's say if somebody says, "Hey, you're a full blown alcoholic," the first thing that you have to do is question it. Am I an alcoholic? I am. If you are, then you gotta accept it and change it. But however, we get a lot of things from when we're little. Like for example, don't talk to strangers.
Yeah.
That's one of the big ones.
Yeah.
It's like,
especially this day and age, everyone's like, "Oh, I'm just gonna text my friends and not talk to any random person anywhere."
yeah, and you gotta understand that if you want to be successful and in bank, strangers
You got a network.
Yeah, strangers got your bank, man.
You got a network. Yeah.
So yeah, just small details like that. Also, what's another big one they used to tell me when I was little? Oh, money doesn't grow on trees. Or what do you think? I own the bank?
Yeah. And so you're saying that those statements aren't true?
They're not. There's actually huge abundance. Let's get into it a little bit. Like if you observe the universe, how vast it is, there's no shortage anywhere.
Any material, of any raw material.
Yeah, if you go to the ocean, there's no shortage of water, waves, or animals in the ocean. And not even talk about space. If you go to space, there's no shortage of nothing in space. Only life, but everything else. Like if you look at the stars, there's no shortage of like.
I believe there is life out there.
I mean, they could be, but I mean.
Well, I mean, we can't even calculate the true vastness of the universe. So life might be abundant and frequent.
Exactly. All I
We
know
just can't
is that as human beings, we don't know anything. 'Cause like for example, people like scientists and science, they don't know how old the Earth is really. They calculated around 4 billion years. 4 billion years.
I think it's like 2.5.
Yeah, you can Google that.
Thanks.
But however,
we got the Google machine.
But however, they can't really know exactly what it's.
I think they know.
You think so?
Yeah, dog. I be reading my science books and listening to my science audio
it's
tapes.
4.5.
Hey,
Oh, it's 4.5 billion. You were right.
But the question is, you have to question that.
Yeah.
It's 4.5? Is it?
Question. That's the point. I did say 4.5. You can rewind it and look at it. So yeah. So I mean, it's just questioning what people or humanity wants to tell us, and just having our own little view, man. That's what it is.
So where are you taking this now, like in your life? Like, what are you trying to do? Kind of like what's your grind? What are you doing?
Well, like I said, I just want to help people. Like my mission in life is to not only attain all this knowledge, it's also to pass it on in any way possible. And if I can make somebody's life better and make them grow, that'll do it for me. So.
I mean, do you feel like you're kind of doing that now? I mean, I know Robaina definitely like learned some things from you. I mean,
well, I'm at the humble beginnings right now. I'm starting. I'm happy and I'm pretty excited because possibilities are limitless. So, I'm just like I said, I'm committed. You got to keep your commitment to your commitment. I get all of these sayings from all the audio I listen. Don't let your words betray your actions.
yeah.
Oh, that's another big one we could talk about.
Don't let your words betray your actions.
Yeah. Like,
What do you mean?
No, I'm talking about like, man.
Don't talk shit.
No, not really. I mean, I say like almost everybody. Maybe one person's exempt from this, or maybe two. I don't know. Who knows? But a lot of people, sometimes they say something and they do the complete opposite. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know you've seen that in your time. For example, you say, "Hey, I'm not gonna go to Mickey D's anymore."
You end up on Mickey D's.
and at 9 p.m. you're at Mickey D's.
And the fucking drive-thru. You're gonna get 2 McDonald's.
So what's the point of that?
The point is, I know it's hard. I think it's the hardest thing to do. To stay loyal to what you say, to your word.
Okay, so staying true to your word.
So if you say tomorrow at 5 a.m. I'm gonna be at your house, at 5 a.m. I'll be at your house.
Which is something I think probably everyone like goes through that daily, right? Like kind of not keeping up to their word. I think that's a battle everyone faces.
Yeah, it's a big, huge battle. I think for myself, I mean,
we lie to ourselves in our mind constantly.
Yeah, I mean, and it's a big one. I'm not exempt from that. Sometimes, I say that I'm gonna do something and I do the complete opposite. And I think that's the key. I think we just acknowledging, questioning it, and see if there's any way that you can actually start being loyal to your word.
Yeah, I
Big-
like
big
that.
one.
That's cool, man.
Big one.
I like that. Cool. I mentioned eating frogs earlier.
Yeah. Let's talk
So,
about it. What does that mean?
What does that mean? Frogs.
It just means tackling your.
Who's
your-
that from? Mark Twain?
No, that's Brian Tracy.
No, Brian Tracy took it.
From Mark Twain?
Yeah, Mark Twain.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
He
he
took
took
something every day.
Basically, the question is if you have like a really, really big, juicy, ugly frog, right? And then you have a small, cute, adorable frog, and you have to eat both of them. You have to eat both of them by the end of the day. Are you gonna eat the big, ugly one first, or are you gonna eat the small one first? Both are obviously nasty to eat, right? But one is way bigger and it's gonna consume way more bites and way more energy and way more nastiness. So do you eat the big ugly one first, or do you eat the small one first?
I'll eat the big one.
Why would you eat the big one?
Because once you get done with that, you know that's the worst thing you did all day.
Okay, so you feel good, right?
Yeah.
And then eating that small frog is no problem.
Yeah, of course.
No biggie.
So how does that correlate to goals and tasks and things you have to do in the day?
I mean, that correlates like in the sense that it makes you more efficient. I mean, that's like another different subject.
Well, I mean, say you gotta like clean your room, like mow the lawn and pay your credit card bill. That if you don't pay your credit card bill, you're gonna get like a $35 fee, right? And you procrastinate on the most important ugly frog, and you do the fun easy stuff, right?
Yeah, with the no value stuff. So
Yeah.
I think I agree. I think that you should focus on the ugliest, nastiest stuff, because there's certain things that are not really valuable that could be left undone. You can say so. If you have
That you can delegate or even eliminate.
Exactly. So let's say you gotta pay your house, for example, or you have to go out play a pickup game, or you have to go do groceries.
Of course, you're gonna want to play the pickup game.
Exactly. Well, that's what most people do. But
That is what they do. They can smoke a blunt and go play a pickup game. Be like, oh, my rent.
Yo, hold on. What's the pickup game?
Pickup basketball.
gotcha,
Pickup
gotcha.
basketball game.
Yo, you gotta
So-
translate, son.
So yeah.
Google
so
it.
I'm not from the hood.
Pickups.
That's not a hood term.
I just got here.
Okay. Oh, okay. So yeah. So back to where we were. I think we should try to focus on the important things. There's a couple things in life that don't even matter. So just focus on the important stuff. If in your passion, for example, if your passion is to do art every day, all day, find the time. And
Damn, man. Sorry about that. We gotta put them on airplane mode next time.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
it's a business call, man.
Yeah, man. It's a, that's probably.
They're in the goddamn podcast.
Oh, you paused the live? Oh yeah, the live is paused.
We were talking Nash.
For real, man. Oh, we're back on it.
We're at like 30 minutes right now. Is the live on again?
It's done, yeah.
Okay, cool.
I got it right here so we can see it.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, we
Yeah,
got
sorry.
We went like 30 minutes on?
Yeah, we're at like we'll keep going
So,
for a little
okay.
bit. Dope, man. Cool. So yeah. What's Blink about? What's that,
Blink-
speed reading or no? That was a class you took,
Well,
and
Blink,
that's the book they gave you or what?
well, actually, when they gave me this book, Blink, I really didn't like it. It's like we kind of like stereotype stuff.
Let me see it. What do you mean stereotype stuff?
It's sometimes you get like a piece of literature and you stereotype it. You look at the cover and you're like, Blink. What the hell is Blink? You know?
Just judging by the cover?
No, I mean sometimes the lack of knowledge gets you, and at that time I can say I wasn't as knowledgeable as I am now, so I really didn't value the book. I was like Blink.
Oh, so you've been having this one for a while?
I did.
You read it?
Yeah, I have read it. And
Is it good?
It's about snap judgment.
What do you mean snap judgment? I don't know.
I
like
think
decisions that just are made super quick, like
it's actually proven that when you make decisions in a frame of 5 seconds, it's always on point.
and when you stick to it.
when you stick to it. Also, the longer you think about it, the bigger the margin of error. So
go with your first kind of gut feeling
the gut feeling, which has
with everything.
With everything, because it has nothing to do with your gut. It's actually a part of your brain. It's called your limbic brain. Your limbic brain. Because we got our neocortex, which is our frontal brain. It's where that'll be in charge of like language, like if you want to talk or like analyzing stuff. It's your analytical brain. But your limbic brain, that's actually when you do art, you're using the limbic brain. You don't think when you're gonna paint, right? You just go.
Yeah.
That's your limbic. So that's
actually when I do think, it like hurts my brain. Like if I have to like think about like, oh, this line or this color, or is this shape good enough? When I think, it sucks.
And the piece of art might not come out as good if you think too much, as if you snap judgment. If you just go with it, go with the flow. It's where genius is stored. Your limbic brain. It's actually amazing when I was reading information on this.
The limbic brain.
The limbic
brain.
What's
the name of the book? Is this one, Blink?
But you know why it's so important? Because your limbic brain is in charge of your decision making.
You're asking something, son.
Why'd you ask me? I'm sorry.
That's this book, or is another book?
No, that's that book.
Oh, is this
Talks
book?
about
Okay.
it. That's why it's called Blink, right? So back to where we were. It's your limbic brain is in charge of your decision making and your feeling. So that's why for most people it's very hard to articulate why they feel. You know, for example, in the sale where you're like, I hate your product, and you ask them, hey, why do you feel this way? They can't tell you why they feel about it.
I understand.
If I ask you, hey, why do you think this way? You can tell me exactly why you think this way. But what if I ask you, hey, why do you feel like this? You can't articulate it. And if you can, that puts you on a higher level. You can articulate your feelings.
And so how important would you say that exercise is to like tapping into your mental capabilities? Like if you neglect exercise, how does that affect your mind?
Oh, big time. Because I mean, for overall health, you know, it's key. You know, we're human beings. We're made out of muscle, water, and mostly water, you know, like everything else on this planet. But however, fitness is big. It's growing. It's a growing industry right now, and you know,
Do you know why it's growing? Are you aware of why?
Well, I just think that people are going to it because we're losing faith in our healthcare system.
Well, there's actually a pretty easy explanation on why there's such a nutritional and fitness boom. It's because the baby boomers that were born after World War I believe, either World War I or World War II, they're now entering their like golden end of life years. Like they're 50, 60 years old. So and the baby boomers, they create the trends through the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, because there's such a big percentage of the population.
It's post-World War II.
Post-World War II. So so there was a huge boom between 1946 and 1964 where like everybody was just banging out babies, right? So all those babies now, how old would that make them?
Like 60, 70
That make
years
them
old?
like 55, 60, 65. So some of them are like rich, influential, some are poor. The point is that they control the trends. So since they're getting old, they want to focus on exercise and like extending their life, right?
Who, the baby boomers?
It makes sense. It makes a lot of sense.
So if you combine that with social media and the ability to share information, that's why there's such like a compound effect of this nutritional kind of healthy lifestyle.
I think that, I mean, my humble opinion, I think that fitness is something that you should try to pick it up while you're young. Why? Because it's like for example, like art. Like if you were 60, 65 years old and you wanted to paint a masterpiece, you don't know nothing about art. You think that's gonna happen?
No.
It's like fitness. If you pick up fitness at 65, you think that you're gonna create a masterpiece of a body. It's not gonna happen. So it's always to your advantage to get curious while you're in your 30s, while you're in your 20s, and ultimately it could save you a very large hospital bill, first of all, and it goes hand to hand with personal training, personal development. I'm sorry. The mind and the body are connected. Even when you work out, let's say you're working out, you kind of feel your muscle working. It's like your mind controls your muscles.
Yeah, it's wild.
So it's a connection.
It's that neuroscience stuff.
So if you want to optimize your life and do great things, it's essential to get the body in peak performance, but also more importantly, get the mind in peak performance.
And then if your mind is in peak status, then you're ready. You're ready to rock.
Yeah, I mean, hey, all the great accomplishments of humanity has been from people who are students, and they just seek and they don't stop seeking, and that's how discoveries are made. Gotta seek.
Yeah. Cool. Well, yeah, we've been talking for a while now. Guess we'll wrap this up. Robaines, you want to say anything to the listeners?
I got nothing to say.
Ghost, would you like to say anything? Wrap it up.
Hey, just to wrap it up is, hey, make it your responsibility to develop. Make it fun. Don't look at it as something that's detrimental. Look at it as something that will make you grow, and you can pass it on to your kids.
Thanks, man. We appreciate you coming on to the podcast. We had a good time. We played some basketball. We did a pretty dope drone shot. And we'll have you on again.
Make sure to subscribe, like, comment, do all the stuff.
Subscribe, like, dislike. We don't care if you dislike this shit.
We're
gonna keep producing
it.
We shot an episode in Spanish this morning. We just did one in English. Once again, if you know anyone at all who is into photography, videography, art, curates art, is a business owner, anyone who can give some knowledge, yeah, let us know, contact us, and thanks again. Cool.
Bang.
Killing it with the music in the background.
Yo, and that was easy. That was freestyling. We didn't even structure a conversation.